We're having a Hasan day today, guys. I guess Hasan and Ethan had like a little debate on their leftovers podcast, and people are saying Hasan got the floor wiped with him or something. I don't know. I'm gonna start it a little sooner. I'm gonna start it with like the segment before. It's only like 4 minutes or something. It's not a big deal, and then we'll get into the other segment. I think. Actually, we're just gonna get right into the segment. Let's just do it. Let's do it.
Yeah, I don't like that.
He said he wants to preempt.
Oh yeah, did I say it was about China and Taiwan? I'm not 100% sure what's going on. Actually, I want to watch because they talk about. I think it's relevant. I think this segment's relevant.
Let's it's the Glizzy boss.
Yeah. And Vivek says he only will come in.
Isn't that Vic? He's like a conservative person, right?
Isn't that weird?
No, I love that.
You do?
Yeah, I think that's cool.
Well, I was like, let's do a Zoom because I don't. Sometimes it's better to have a little distance because.
Yeah.
I'm not sure I want to do it
He's an interesting guy. He's certainly charismatic. I'll give him that.
Do a whole episode with him, but I guess we could. But do you find it odd?
It'd be funny if we kicked him out midway through and we're like, we're gonna do our own episode. Get out of here,
kid.
That wouldn't be funny. Why would that be funny? It would just make you look stupid. It'd be funny if we kicked him out. Okay.
Get out of here, Vivek. He did a.
I mean, you could have him on for like a part of it and be like, okay, we're gonna do other content now. Yeah.
Person TikTok with Jake Paul.
Yeah, it's in the doc here.
Which is really funny. He's like, oh yeah, like our politicians are not in touch with the youth, and it's like
this is his son, all jacked at and fucking.
Kennedy's are like.
It is true. Our politicians are not in touch with the youth. It is not
like kind of hot.
What is with them, man?
All the Kennedys are.
That's like
take a day off.
He went to Ukraine too. I think he like literally.
He's fighting.
Yeah, I think he literally went to Ukraine.
Whoa! What?
Yeah.
What? Son Connor Kennedy's secret enlistment in Ukraine war. What the fuck?
He's hot. And
whoa, his right eye is what?
Jesus.
wait. That's not photoshopped?
This is why they didn't assassinate him, dog, because he was already fucked up. They were like, we could let it ride.
Dude, these guys say some wildest stuff.
His face looks like this.
Wow, incredible. Riveting content. Thank God I watched this part of the segment.
That
really cool way to lose.
Like, he really gets it.
It's sick because, like, it's a really cool.
I couldn't imagine talking to, like, Jake Paul to get in touch with today's modern youth. I don't think... I feel like he's not in touch with the modern youth. What's that one person's? There's like a teacher. There's like some teachers or teacher Jessica or something on TikTok. That's who you want to talk to. Miss Rachel. That's it. Miss Rachel. She's pretty. No, she's down. Yeah. Okay. Let's continue.
Cool way to lose support because like, who the fuck is like a diehard Jake Paul fan?
Somebody had a great insight. One of Vivek's things is he wants to raise the voting age to 25, right?
Yeah.
Or 28, is it even?
I think it was 25.
And so
I'll raise it to 25 as long as we have a cap at like 55 as well. I just don't let these boomers vote. I feel like old people vote disproportionately so much more because they have the time to do it and they value it more. Young people are just like depressed and just, it's annoying. So they don't really vote. And they're like, nothing's changing, but you don't vote. And when you do vote, it's only in the presidential election. You don't have any value for local elections, which arguably matter like a lot more for you, like specifically. And I was like, nothing changes. Voting doesn't work. Go vote on local elections,
At the same time, he's like, oh, I'm trying to reach the youth.
Hey,
the youth?
Hey, what's
you
up?
mean the people you're trying to disenfranchise?
Okay, you want to know something crazy? I think it's a five-head maneuver because what do the youth love more than anything else?
Is this like a knock-knock joke? What?
Not voting.
Not voting. Exactly.
Oh, shit. Let's get to the actual segment.
Just pointing his finger left and right.
Damn, only 2,000 comments? Like, what the fuck? I mean, he's got 86,000 likes. Okay, that one.
It didn't go viral.
But it went kind of viral.
Well, Jake's, I mean, he has a big account. It didn't do well compared to his other.
Yeah.
It's got less than all these other.
Yeah, it only got 1 million. How low?
Other ones.
Well, it's 20.
All right.
Him.
All right. Let's get to the goddamn segment.
I'm a fan of that.
I think, doesn't Ramaswamy also want to ban TikTok?
Okay, I'm a fan of that. Okay, well, now I'm voting for him.
I think he's...
I'm voting illegally for Ramaswamy. And
why would you be a fan of that, like, unironically? Like, I understand that there are some problems with TikTok. But overall, like, why would you ban TikTok? Because China has access to the information? Well, I don't understand. Maybe he's just memeing.
And RFK Jr. Both of the guys who showed.
His big thing is he's extremely hawkish on China, right? Like, that's like the foreign policy
I don't like
corner
that.
He said he wants to preempt a war against China.
He wants to like fight against China, but he also kind of wants to like leave Taiwan to China. It's like very weird. He has like a very weird foreign policy perspective on it.
Right.
The obviously like xenophobic anti-Chinese perspective is like shared commonly by the entire intelligence community, our State Department. Obviously, it's like American.
I mean, like, listen, again, I'm not going to say that I'm the most educated on like foreign affairs, but China is like we have. I mean, they're a threat, right? They're another world superpower. They are antithetical to our values of freedom of speech. Oh my God, I can't speak. Freedom of speech and freedom of expression. And so, you know, they're always trying to, they're better at us when it comes to like cyber security and cyber warfare, which we have to get much better at. That's where we really need to invest our infrastructure in instead of like physical military. Not that we don't need physical military, but what we need is like, we definitely need, you know, better cyber tactics. Cyber. But yeah, I mean, we shouldn't have a war with them. That's ridiculous. But I mean, like, I don't know if it's, why would we call it xenophobia? I don't know that. Why would we call it xenophobia? Am I missing the mark on something? Like, I don't understand. I don't think it's xenophobic to say that like the Chinese government isn't exactly the greatest. Chinese people are great, and so is the food.
Policy, but the whole like leave Taiwan, or first leave Taiwan alone and then give them all guns. Like make Taiwan like America, where every person in Taiwan has a weapon.
How do we feel about Taiwan, Hassan? China or not
Taiwan?
China? Or is it China or not China?
That's the.
I don't think it's not supposed to be China.
American policy, whatever the American policy is, whatever the American perspective
What's your
is.
opinion? You really won't say?
No, I'm saying it's like one.
Listen, again, I could be wrong. Doesn't Taiwan want to not be China? Right? I don't know.
One country, two systems. You know?
No, it's not. It's two different countries.
Really?
Taiwan and China.
Is that according to American foreign policy?
No, what's your opinion? What's your opinion? Taiwan independent?
You can't ask him his opinion. He just has whatever the left-leaning opinion is, which is just anti-America. Because, you know, that's it. What do we got?
Opinion on Taiwan is that Taiwan is the Chinese concept of Taiwan should remain in the hands of the people in Taiwan who believe
it's independent.
Who, for the
for
the record, for the most part, just believe to not disrupt the ongoing relations with.
Why are you being so carefully footed around?
Because I know that there's.
Dude, listen. What I would say is like my understanding, and it could be, is that the people there want to be free. They don't want to be under China's rule. Cool. Then that's what I support. I support them having their own agency and autonomy to separate from a shit government, of an oppressive government. That's what I support. There's no fucking pussyfooting around it. I mean, that's just what it is, you know? I respect that. American, but I feel like some of this stuff just comes from like Hasan's anti-America stance. Like, it's like, I can't say I'm explicitly for what America's doing in Taiwan because I don't want to say anything pro-America. You know, America's flawed, of course. We do some bad stuff, but hey, not all the stuff we do is bad, okay?
There's gonna be a subreddit. There's gonna be a subreddit post with like a million fucking comments being like, Hasan wants everyone in Taiwan to be killed because he loves China. He's the Xi Jinping.
That's what I heard.
That's what it's already over. You asked that question, it, like in jest, and it's gonna.
No, I was genuinely curious what you think about it.
I think that
Piker am using
I think that overall, it's contemporary history is complex. At the end of the day, if the Taiwanese citizens would ever put this up for a vote, and we're like, we want to fucking be an independent nation, it's up to them. You know what I mean?
They
You
already
can't.
done that?
No, there is no.
No, what Hasan said is true from everything I've read. That most people in Taiwan nowadays support just keeping the status quo, like the kind of.
But they're
strategic ambiguity of
the
what's
overwhelming
going on.
majority, the overwhelming majority's consensus opinion is that they don't want to disrupt relations with China, and they also.
Well, I mean, real question I don't have the answer to. Are they saying that because they're afraid of their government in some capacity, or are they saying that because they actually want to be free? Because hasn't China been trying to whittle away at Taiwan for the longest time?
Like, obviously, if it was a situation between like full-blown independence versus like becoming a Chinese state, like becoming a part of the Chinese state.
Do the people of Taiwan like pay taxes in China? Like, do they vote? And
I don't know the exact details of that.
Do they have like travel status in China?
But the thing is, like, as far as Chinese Taiwanese relations goes, like the original inception of the country is
Taiwan
is a fascist dictatorship that America recognized as the real China until Richard Nixon normalized relations with China, and that's where they implemented the they call it strategic ambiguity, which I call lying.
Hold on, this says that the current administration of Taiwan maintains that Taiwan is already an independent country.
Yes.
This does not have to push for any sort of formal independence.
There are well, that's because they don't want to do like a full blown.
Exactly.
They don't want to disrupt the status quo. That's why they're saying that.
Sure, they don't want to be invaded by China.
They want autonomy while simultaneously being under the Chinese banner, according
like
to
they want
international.
independence.
It doesn't sound like that. It sounds like they want independence, but they also don't want to get fucked. It doesn't sound like they're like, yeah, they kind of love China. They just want to not be China. It's like, that doesn't make any sense. It sounds like they don't really particularly care for being under Chinese rule, but they don't want to also get disrupted in a way that will decimate them. So they're just like, yeah, we're kind of chilling. We're kind of chilling on it, you know?
But they just don't want to be like attacked by China militarily.
Well, that's part of it for sure. So you understand how Taiwan was developed as a nation state, right? Like, so Mao purged and defeated the counter-revolutionary forces. Taiwan has been a larger part of like China historically, and the original Taiwanese claim was that the entire mainland China belonged to what is now known as Taiwan, and that was the American foreign policy position as well, because China was communist and Taiwan was a fascist military dictatorship. So they were like, oh yeah, we're just gonna completely ignore China until Nixon normalized relations with China, and then Taiwan became a democratic country, of course, with still a lot of reactionary opinions overall, but like that's gone away in recent years. I think the younger generations have a different perspective on the matter. But overall, like historically speaking, Taiwan and China being the same country, it has been around for much longer than, like, as Elon Musk said, Hawaii being an American state.
Okay.
Much, much longer.
Taiwan is...
So basically, I heard a lot of babbling, and what I get out of it is that Taiwan doesn't want to be a part of China. That's it. That's all I hear. Okay, we should support them in that. We should support countries that ask to be free. So we should help them with that. Give them a hand job.
It's already
Bro,
independent.
come on!
That's what I'm saying. People don't want a formal declaration just because they don't want a fucking war. But they're not wanting to be Hong Kong and be consumed by the Chinese party.
They don't want to be Hong Kong? What happened in Hong Kong?
Oh, the funny meme.
Am I saying the right place?
No, you
They were independent, and then they got fucking eaten.
They were
up.
not independent.
Oh, they had some rights. They were less independent than Taiwan, and then they got eaten
Hong Kong
up.
was bought by.
Are you saying the people of Hong Kong did not want to be?
There were certainly people that did not want to be a part of China. Absolutely, that is 100% correct.
Most of them.
A lot of
people there took a lot of pride in not being.
A lot of people enjoyed having Western civil liberties while simultaneously like being in a unique position. But now that China already does regular trade with the rest of the world, because like at a time in like the 90s, Hong Kong was seen as like this prosperous middle ground. But
I think there's a Disney there. That's what I'm curious. That's what I'm interested in. That's it, baby.
Since the 2000s, like because of an insane amount of development and insane trade relations with the rest of the planet, there are tier 1 cities that are even larger and have more economic activity than Hong Kong in and of itself. Okay. And there was always a timeline where Hong Kong was going to be given back to China.
Why is this guy always kind of like, why is he always glazing China? Like, I don't understand. Like, this is the weirdest thing, is that if you go really far left, you start to suck China, like the dick of the Chinese government. But if you go really far right, you start to suck the dick of the Russian government. So like, what point do you just stop gargling cum for other countries and just like gargle America's cum? I love American cum. I'm gonna gargle it till the day I fucking die, baby.
They just accelerated it by like 2 decades, if I'm not mistaken, because that was a lease on Hong Kong. Mm-hmm. So the people of Hong Kong, there were certainly a lot of people in Hong Kong that did not want to be a part of the Chinese state. But overall, if you look at the situation in Hong Kong right now, it's like they claimed that it was going to be devastating, and that has not happened.
Not that we know of, because they have no freedom of speech anymore.
Okay.
They can't talk. They lost
that
the
part
right.
is true. You're right.
Well, if you know it, wait, what the fuck?
It's like they claimed that it was going to be devastating, and that has not happened.
Not that we know of, because they have no freedom of speech anymore.
Okay.
They can't talk. They lost the right.
That part is true. You're right.
Wait, listen, I'm going to be absolutely honest with you. I'm not like super up to date on what's going on in these other countries, okay? So I can't sit here and say I knew that, because I didn't. But my thing is right in this moment, did Hasan know that, or did he not know that? Because one of two things happen. Either he didn't know that, and he just has to be like, oh, that's right, Ethan, because he has to sound like he knows what the fuck he's talking about, because he's an egotistical idiot. Or he actually knew that, and he was still glazing China, even though he knew that and trying to make it seem like the people of Hong Kong weren't complaining, even though he knew that they had no ability to complain because the freedom of speech was restricted. So either way, he's not coming out of this particularly well.
Right.
What are we going to learn from that?
I will not.
They have secret prisons,
I
bro.
do not agree with China's social.
How long until Ethan and Hasan go part their ways? How much longer until you think that's over? When do you think that there's? When do you think that ends?
Civil liberties policies.
When do you think that I'm on the next streamies, like Death Noodles, and I can go, I could do one of those while I give out awards. Just be super fucking awkward.
I do not agree with that at all. So I don't live in China. I live in America. However, having said that, you can just go to Hong Kong, and you can just go to every part of China pretty much and see for yourself. This is no longer like
You're right, Hasan. I'm loaded. I could just fucking go tomorrow. I have a lot of money, and I'm full of monies, baby. I could just kind of go. I'm so privileged. What the fuck are you talking about? Stop babbling.
The North Korea style hermit kingdom where like no information comes out. Like we have
regardless,
we have a shit ton of Chinese people that live in America.
Regardless, bro, it's not that
China.
They had rights. They don't have rights now. They lost a lot of rights. But whatever. I mean, this is interesting that you're very soft. You're very soft-footed around the issue of China. You love China.
I think China.
If you love,
bro, this is wild. Ethan is so aggressive on Hasan now. I feel he used to pussyfoot around the guy. I know this sounds silly, but I know Ethan has been like engaging with Destiny lately. Like not with him specifically, but he's been engaging with Destiny's content, and I wonder if this is that. You know what I mean? I wonder if this is that. I wonder if he's just kind of like, oh man, Destiny's so much smarter. Hasan's actually a fucking idiot. And, you know, because originally Ethan obviously wanted to talk to Hasan. Because one, I think he respected him. Watching him talk to Hasan. Bro, come on! I didn't even kill this one guy! I'm just getting ganked by like a level 60. Go get your pre-bis, you fucking loser. Anyway. Bro, the guy's in there just to gank me. Like, there's nothing productive about what he's doing. Anyway, like, I'm just going to take a break and play a different game for now. Like I was saying, I think he used to respect him, and now he's been kind of like listening to Destiny content and kind of changing a little bit here and there. And I wonder if that's what's happening. I wonder if he's just kind of like, he's been a little Destiny pilled.
China so much, why don't you marry it?
Once again, I don't live there. I choose to live here because of the issues that you just brought up, which is civil liberties being
because they don't have freedom of speech. Yeah, but you just glazed the fuck out of China, brother. So.
Taken away. No freedom of speech.
Yeah,
walled garden internet. Like there are certainly parallels to the American state or the Western world that there are certainly comparisons that you could make, but
Not
overall,
really.
that kind of mechanism of control is one that I do not appreciate personally. Which is why I choose.
But you're insinuating that other people will be like, I love it. No, shut the fuck up. This guy, dude, he's so weird. Just be like, yeah, it sucks over there. Can't even say that China sucks.
To live here. But as far as like cruelty, oppression, like what you're talking about with respect to Hong Kong, the promises that Western media overall made about like how China was going to crush Hong Kong under its like ruthless, oppressive thumb has not happened.
I don't think that was the point. I think the point was just that there's whoever was, vocal about wanting to maintain certain rights in Hong Kong was probably thrown in a secret prison and never heard from again.
Yeah, I mean, they don't have freedom of speech. I don't understand. It's so interesting. Apparently, at some point, America made the point that China was going to destroy Hong Kong oppressively. And then instead of that, they just regularly oppressed them. And so, like, it's not enough now. It's like, yeah, they only normal oppressed them. They didn't, like, super oppress them. So, like, really, it's that bad? Like it's, come on. Thank you so much for the small gut to massive. I think I said that right.
I mean, certainly there was political dissidents are definitely political dissidents are definitely like
taken out back.
Hong Kong's had multiple riots over this. Okay, here's my thing. Why doesn't Hasan just be like, I don't know what the fuck is going on. I don't know. I'm not super in tune with what's going on in Hong Kong. Take the L. But I'm also not trying to speak on it like some kind of authority figure like Hasan. Like if you just don't know, just like don't just like I don't know. Just like I don't know. I don't know anything other than I don't know anything.
They're not.
I know there's a Disney there.
Anything, but even then, it's like completely
They take a
unacceptable.
walk and they go for a beer and they don't come back. You know what I'm saying?
They're not good on that stuff.
Yeah,
100%.
they're not good,
Well,
but they're good
anyway.
on other things like like what?
I was just curious. I didn't mean to open a can of worms, but you say you think the people of Taiwan whatever they want, and it seems to me that the people of Taiwan want independence. So I'm right with you there, brother. Independence for Taiwan.
I think
Are they even close enough?
one nation, two systems.
One nation, two systems.
Oh, it's like just green screening.
Yeah. Which is the current.
Like Israel and Palestine.
Oh my God! You don't want to go down that rabbit hole. Come on.
Why actively support one nation and two systems? Why not be like, yeah, whatever they want? That's my take. I mean, if they want to be independent from China, it makes sense. China sucks, bro. But my thing is like, I feel like he just needs to glaze China. Like, part of his mentality is I have to make sure people think that China's not that bad because America's the worst. I really think that's what that comes from, that place. You know, why actively support two nations, one system? Just like whatever the fuck they want.
I'm just fucking with you. I'm just trying to get you.
That part is like literally. I mean, that is a. I mean, that's an advocacy in the opposite direction, in my opinion, where
Independence for Taiwan. You heard it here from Hasan.
Because remember, like the overwhelming majority of people living in Taiwan are still Han Chinese.
Mm-hmm.
Therefore, despite the fact that it's a separate country, it's still like the same people. The language is the same. People will say
Ukraine belongs to Russia for that exact reason.
Yeah, I don't know the history. I know that because Hasan got a lot of heat for his perspective on Ukraine, like last year, or maybe it was like a year or so ago. And basically, it's something Russia for a long time now, I believe decades, has been starving out Ukrainians and until they're dead, and then implanting Russians so that they could say, "Hey, we have a claim." And so I don't know if it's like that in Hong Kong. I really don't know, or Taiwan, right? Sorry, I don't really know. I don't really have all the answers to these questions or anything, but. If that is the case, then yeah, what the hell? That's fucked up.
I don't think Ukraine belongs to Russia because Ukrainian nation state, the Ukrainian nation state project, there are similarities. You're not wrong about that. But the Ukrainian nation state project, as a well-defined nation state, has always has been around for much longer than like Taiwan being an independent nation state.
So the people's entitlement to freedom.
Like you can make a better argument for Crimea being a separate country than like.
But what I'm hearing is that it's just a function of how old their culture is, how entitled they are to freedom.
Well, it's not. I don't think that it's like those two concepts are not the two concepts at play here. Like it's not like entitled to freedom versus what was the other thing that you said?
I mean, like, who cares how long they've had a separate culture? If the government is oppressive and the people want to be separate from the government, like, how much more do we need? Like, you know, you'll talk about how nobody should own like property in America, but then when it comes to a whole country's getting oppressed, like objectively worse than America, all of a sudden you're like, no, it's a different country. It's up to their like, what are you babbling on about? You know?
Well, it just seems like you're talking about like their they have some kind of national heritage or identity.
Well, the thing that I was mentioning there,
it sounds a little nationalistic, Hasan. Are you a fucking Hitler? What the hell? Are you a supporter of that? Bad guy. Not even a joke. That's true. Don't ban me, YouTube. Fuck.
The reason why I mentioned that is because you were talking about making a comparison between like Israel, Palestine.
Yeah.
Being that the same people, I think, makes that kind of, especially existing under the construct of having like one nation state regardless, with freedom of travel in between. It's literally like a mile off the coast, you know what I mean, of China. Having all of that factors into like whether there's going to be assimilation or not. And there's no need for assimilation even. They have like normal trade relations with Taiwan, you know what I mean? It's like, that's why it's considered to be a delicate political conversation, but one that currently the current system benefits both.
And so if
places.
China takes military action against Taiwan, as some people speculate may happen.
Yeah, I mean, that would not be good. I don't think. Whoa!
Are you serious? Holy fuck! That's the hottest. That's a spicy take. That would not be good. If China went to take military action, That would not be good. Dude, this is why I follow Hasan. I agree with all these really like robust, nuanced talking points. They fucking make my penis explode. Jizz, you know?
I think that would be really, really terrifying.
Whoa.
It would be disruptive for the entire global economy.
Oh shit.
As well.
Right,
Oh,
but I'm just mean like from.
Oh lord.
Whose army are you joining?
I'm-
Front line are you fighting?
I'm fucking moving to
Taiwan.
I'm moving to an undisclosed
Okay.
location. I'm moving to an undisclosed location.
I'm on the front.
I'm gonna be on a fucking
line.
ship.
Whoever has the
He's
best.
asking the question. Who would you fight for, Taiwan or China? He's like, I'm moving. Why is he? Does he get like money from China or something? Is he an actual like? What is this guy? Who is this guy? LeBron James? I think that's a thing, right? Isn't that a thing where they glaze sports so hard that they don't speak their actual opinions? I don't know. But I don't want to disrespect the GOAT like that, like the king, you know, LeBroni. So
Computer chips I'm fighting for.
Okay.
incredible.
I'm a chip boy
Well,
myself.
If it wasn't for America, China would have some pretty solid chip technology, but America's like regularly trying to stop that process. Like they went to the Netherlands and be like, you
crazy.
can't sell China your chip technology, which is fucking insane.
Wow.
Yeah.
See, America bad. China oppressing their own people. That's okay. America stopping an oppressive government. That is fucking horrible, dude. Why would we do that? I don't really know why would we do that, but frankly, I mean, it's just funny, right? That this.
It's incredible the takes in chat. How many people are like, just the polarization of this topic. It's fucking insane.
Well, of course, there's going to be polarization on the topic because the American media has been gearing people to be across the board like vicious, no matter what, to any foreign adversary. China being the main foreign adversary now, so people are going to be very passionate in their defense and start saying, "We care about the people in Taiwan. You're not talking about
Right, but they don't actually care. So that's his point: is that we shouldn't actually care about those people. Like I don't understand.
the people in Taiwan. You don't
So
care
it's
about them."
it's the media. If it weren't for the media's propaganda, people would not be siding with Taiwan.
Yeah, I mean, think about it this way: why the fuck does no one care?
So what does that matter, though? Like now, the question isn't like let's just say the question isn't whether the propaganda makes people side for something. The question is whether you think that we should or shouldn't side with those people. If your argument is the media is telling people how to feel on a foreign policy perspective, probably for sure. Like obviously, no shit. But what do you think? What do you think? Do you think it's bad? Do you think it's a bad, like, do you think that it's a problem, like, that they're supporting China, or is your issue that they just don't know why they're supporting, or excuse me, Taiwan, or what is your issue? It doesn't make sense. He's being a pussyfoot here. This is crazy.
What about Yemen? You know what I mean? Why? Because Saudi Arabia is the one, our ally, Saudi Arabia is the one doing the genocide in Yemen.
And
you never see people get this passionate about
Well, I think-
Yemen. You
I
don't see
think
people get this
Taiwan
passionate
is
about
more-
Syria.
I thought people were upset with Yemen a while ago. Or maybe not. I don't know. I'm not big into foreign policy, so.
Taiwan has more relevance to the United States, like in terms of economical, and social.
Yeah, that was developed.
Well, that's only natural that people would care more about something that affects them more. I don't think Yemen.
Yeah,
and I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I just don't think Yemen affects.
But it's still people. There's still people that
No,
are being
sure.
mercilessly slaughtered, whereas no one is being
not-
slaughtered in Taiwan in a similar capacity, and yet there are way more passionate because,
Not saying it's
like
right or
you said,
wrong. I mean-
it is designed to
Well, yeah, Hassan is just like playing the downplay game. He's just deflecting. If his argument was like, "Hey, yeah, this is fucked up. We should support Taiwan, but we should also support these other people," I would be all, "Yeah, sure, that's great." But that's not what he's saying. He's using other people's struggles that he doesn't care about in order to downplay these different struggles. Like it's just a downplaying game. It's just a game of like downplaying as much as possible. That's all it is. It's just downplay the struggles of Taiwan because he's a China glazer. He loves glazing China, you know. And I like those little sugar donuts. So I guess I can't blame him. But that's all it is.
have this kind of
And you think that if the only
Manufacturing
reason
consent.
people care about the Ukraine is because of the media,
absolutely 100%.
nobody would care.
Of
Did
course.
anybody care about Georgia?
Yeah, that's a great
Probably,
question.
I don't know.
No one gave a shit about Georgia. That's crazy.
Yeah, me neither. I hate Georgia.
Hold on.
Fucking, it's the worst state in America, dude. I'm just kidding. That's like Alabama or something. Florida soon.
Well, I mean, what about in Europe? They seem
He's
to care
also
about.
ignoring the Muslim genocide in Western China, which would destroy just her argument. Oh yeah, man. Didn't they haven't they been putting like, what are they Uyghur Muslims, isn't that what it is, into concentration camps that like media is not allowed into? Yo.
Ukraine a lot.
It's the similar principle.
Me
Media
too,
is still
Georgia.
media everywhere. around the world.
I mean,
It plays a very significant role in people's lives.
Ukraine borders Europe, and I mean, I'm not saying it's right or wrong, but Georgia is not really in such a geographically, strategically important location as Ukraine.
Okay.
Well, I'm just explaining why people might care more about Ukraine than Georgia, and I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I'm just saying
Still
why.
people. It's the people
I'm
that
not
are being
saying it's not
ruthlessly
people.
slaughtered.
I'm just saying because your theory is that the support for Ukraine and Taiwan is essentially manufactured, that it wouldn't exist.
That's not his perspective. It sounds like it's his perspective. His perspective isn't that it's manufactured. His perspective is he's using that as a weapon to say we shouldn't care, because that's all it really is. He doesn't care. He doesn't want you to care. And he wants to like run as much, like there's just no other explanation. He's not just saying like, yeah, I care about all these, but it's interesting how we only care about, Hong Kong or whatever, or Taiwan more than, other places. He's just trying to downplay the whole thing and use it as an excuse. He's weaponizing other people's problems in other countries so that he could just express his distaste for America and America policy. That's all it is.
It shouldn't exist.
I'm not saying it shouldn't exist. I'm simply stating that.
Yeah.
I'm simply stating that.
It's manufactured.
The
People only care about
tremendous
it because they've been tricked to caring about it.
It's not tricked, but dude, like, normal people don't think about foreign policy. Are you?
Yeah, I forgot Dan's also a fucking moron, so he's falling for the Hasan. Dude, people don't really care. That's not the question. Isn't do they? It's should they? And Hasan has not really been able to say that. He's dog whistling you. He's anti-America dog whistling you, Daniel. How do you not see this? You're supposed to be more woke than this. What's going on? What's going on with that, dude? What the fuck?
Saying that you don't think that normal people's opinions about like international matters are shaped by what they see on the news and what's prioritized.
I'll give you a better example.
Of course it is.
Hold on, because I'm being double teamed now, so I need to speak.
Okay.
Of course it is. But this implication that you're like, if you say nobody cares about Taiwan or Ukraine because of the media, it implies that, the support for those
Which implies that nobody should care.
two countries or care for those two countries is like, manufactured. That it's really not sincere. That's what it sounds like.
You jumped to that. Nobody
I'm
said.
sorry.
No, I am saying that.
Yeah, he is saying that.
Yeah, I'm saying.
You jumped to that, and then Hasan goes, I actually was saying that. Listen, that is no offense to Dan, average Hasan enjoyer. Moderately intelligent, but doesn't understand what Hasan's actually saying on a deeper level. He has a very superficial understanding of what Hasan's even saying. And this perfectly shows that.
Those two countries, because of the media, it implies that you're like, if you say nobody cares about Taiwan or Ukraine because of the media, it implies that, the support for those two countries or care for those two countries is like, manufactured. That it's really not sincere. That's what it sounds like.
You jumped to that. Nobody
I'm
said.
sorry.
No, I am saying that.
Look at that. You jumped to that. You jumped to that. The instant Hasan. He doesn't even know what Hasan's saying. Those are the people who agree with Hasan. People who don't know what Hasan is saying. Those are the people who agree with Hasan. And then like instantaneously, it's like, oh yeah, I was saying that. And now Dan has nothing to say because that's what he's saying. He's downplaying it. Like this is what happens. It's fucking crazy.
He is saying that.
Yeah, I'm saying that the support for the overwhelming majority of Americans, for any country that the United States of America has a genuine interest in, is manufactured in either direction.
Yeah, it's just pure anti-America. But he like his perspective. His perspective. Oh my God, his perspective isn't like, hey, listen, we care about some countries more than others because of the media. No, his perspective is we shouldn't care about Taiwan because he's a fucking glazer.
It can be manufactured carelessness and inconsideration, like being inconsiderate and ruthlessly violent at certain points, which is the example I was going to use with 9/11 and what we did post 9/11. Or it could be manufactured in the other direction, where it's like this is the just war. This is the just war that we have to fight, like we did in Vietnam originally, when there was need to generate popular support for whatever kind of action America consistently takes. Now,
I'm not denying that propaganda exists.
Yeah,
but I am saying that like the comparison of Ukraine to Georgia is not apples to oranges. That's all I'm saying. It's not.
What do you mean by this?
Ukraine.
He's saying it's not the same. That's all he's saying. It's not the same.
Borders like mainland Russia or Europe.
Okay.
Europe cares a lot about it.
Okay. I would say that it's probably more. I would say that in Europe, there's probably more of a not controversy necessarily, but it's a more divisive issue in I think Europe than it is in America, most likely.
It's also like not
so now he's saying we shouldn't be helping Ukraine. Like I don't understand. What is Hasan's? I don't understand. How is he like? I don't get it. Does he like just not care about freedom? I don't understand. Holy fuck! I don't get it. What?
Best precedent when like tyrants start land grabbing in Europe generally hasn't.
I don't
doesn't
disagree
have a
with
good
that.
precedent.
I agree with you. I think that
And so I understand why people don't like
completely
the Ukraine
unjustifiable. And it's also, even if you're like pro-Russia, pro-Vladimir Putin, anti-NATO, right? Even if you're all of those things, it is a laughably idiotic thing to do, because all you've done is now galvanize NATO support in Europe and justified it. Because that was the entire reason for NATO's existence, is to stop the USSR, stop communism from thriving. And obviously, Russia is a very different country than the USSR was, and is no longer ideologically aligned with communism at all. It is a state that Western capitalists basically redesigned and propped up oligarchs, including people like Vladimir Putin. So, despite all of that, it's still utilized as a protection racket that you basically justified its existence of by doing such an unimaginably cruel, inhumane, at all different country than you've done is now galvanize NATO support. Laughably idiotic thing to do, because all you've done is now galvanize NATO support in Europe and justified it. Because and propped up oligarchs, including people like Vladimir Putin. So, despite all of that, it's still utilized as a protection racket that you basically justified its existence of by doing such an unimaginably cruel, inhumane, unjustifiable act, invading Ukraine. So it's a strategic blunder, even if you're like pro-Russia.
I do think that I just think people are capable of caring about it without.
Well, I mean, I care
being
about
like,
it.
you know,
I care about it.
No, he doesn't. Hasan doesn't care about it. He knows, or he thinks he knows what to say. Again, he was fucking running defense for Russia, and he still is. The way that he's talking about it, he's running as much defense as people will allow him to run. That's really what it boils. Jesus Christ, that was a good pull. He's running as much defense as he feels like people will allow him to run. That's all it really boils down to.
People sincerely care about it, even though, you know, you think it's unfair that people didn't care as much about Georgia. You know, that's my point.
It's not necessarily just not caring about Georgia. My opinion on this is that we, as a nation here in America and all around the world, are not immune to propaganda.
No.
As a matter.
Yeah. No shit. Okay. I don't care. I don't care if we were what are you saying when you say propaganda? Like, because the problem is that he's trying to say that that he thinks we should care. Like, this is the problem. Why would you call it propaganda if you're saying that you're sympathetic to Taiwan? People don't care. Maybe we should. Maybe we should care. What the fuck?
Matter of fact, every piece of information that we analyze has a great impact on our decision-making process.
Whoa, that's crazy.
And therefore, doing a full media blitz on any particular issue is usually going to yield these kinds of results and this kind of support, which without that kind of media blitz would not exist.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Again, I'm not denying that propaganda exists and that we're all, you know, influenced.
And the example I was going to use was our justification for the invasion of Afghanistan and the invasion of Iraq.
I feel like those aren't the same thing. Didn't we like falsely... What?
Were both unjustifiable wars, in my opinion. The war on terror was across the board, wholesale, ruthless, cruel, led to millions of people.
Yeah, but wasn't that? Yeah, but that was like literally, like intentionally. That was like an intentional lie, right? After 9/11, we were like, these guys did it, and they didn't do it. We went to like and we destabilized like a whole country. That's not the same as countries saying we need your help. We want our freedom. Am I wrong about that? Am I like, I could just be really fucking stupid when it comes to foreign policy, and I would take the L on it. But I feel like I'm correct about that assertion. Isn't that what happened? These Ukraine and Taiwan and like Hong Kong, they're like actively asking like, hey, we could use help. We want to be independent. Why wouldn't we apply? Why is it that when it comes to Americans saying that they want more freedoms, or they want more, like they want universal health care, we should listen to them, but when it comes to another country being horribly oppressed by their government, we shouldn't care? I don't understand.
Dying led to tens of millions of people being destabilized, and we're still living in the rubble of that kind of cruel and unusual action. And it was championed by a majority of the American population, and until like the past like couple of years, where
what does that have to do with Ukraine being invaded by Russia?
Where do you think that kind of attitude came from?
Okay.
Where do you think that justification came from? There was a
probably Russia invading Ukraine. That's probably where that justification came from.
billion-dollar industry.
Same thing, man. Ukraine was invaded by Russia.
No, it is exactly the same thing.
It's literally a tyrant grabbing land in Europe.
I agree with what you're saying.
No, you
my
don't.
point is, my point is that
propaganda exists. Yeah, I know.
no, my point is that Americans think that they are independent thinkers, and yet they are motivated into believing.
This is literally pseudo-intellectual fucking nonsense. This is like Hasan learned a new word and he feels like he needs to constantly use it. That's all it comes down to. Like, he needs to let us know, yeah, you know, Americans are also susceptible to propaganda. Sure, of course. Yeah, no shit. But that has no relevance here. It's not relevant. Like, Russia's trying to take over Ukraine. That's it. And you're like, yeah, but did you know not everybody is smart? Did you know that, like, yeah, no shit. People are definitely victims of misinformation. Clearly you are as well, or disinformation. I don't know if it's obviously intentional. You're a fucking idiot. What does it have to do with anything?
Believing things, no matter what it is, it can be a just cause.
I agree that
it can be a just cause in the situation where you're supporting Ukraine and Ukrainian independence, which is an independent nation state. You know what I mean? It's been an independent nation state in the aftermath of the dissolution of the USSR. It's been an independent nation state. You can't just like turn around and be like, all right, it's mine now, right? I agree with that.
No, you don't. You were running defense for it like a couple of years ago or like a year ago. What are you talking about? And you still are.
And that it can be seen as a just war, an understandable war. It's not even a war that the Ukrainian people wanted, right?
See, he doesn't. It can be a just war. Yeah, it is a just war. The Ukraine, nobody wants to go to fucking war. The Ukrainian people don't want to go to war, but that doesn't mean that they don't want to defend themselves. You see the wordage that he's using? The Ukrainian people, he's trying to, dude, I swear to God, this guy's fucking dog whistling. He says they don't necessarily want to, the Ukrainians don't want to go to the war, and he's trying to insinuate that Ukrainians want things to just go to Russia. That's what he's trying to insinuate there. And if you disagree, I don't care, because I'm just going to say you're wrong at this point. I've listened to enough Hasan to know he's fucking dog whistling the shit out of this situation. He's trying to get you to think that, like, you know, the people on his side, the fucking morons that listen to his Twitch, he's trying to get you to think that, like, yeah, you know what? The Ukrainian people didn't want it. They wanted to be part of Russia. They wanted to be taken over. When the reality is the reason that this is happening is because they have to protect themselves because it's a fucking war. Because they have to protect themselves or they're going to lose their shit. That's what it boils down to. You're gonna get fucking dumpstered, pussy. Oh, sorry.
But having said that, the Americans...
dude, I am on the front lines right now, dude. I can go right now with my Heroes of the Storm character. That's what needs to happen.
Support, the full-throated support, is absolutely a...
It doesn't seem like there's full-throated support. There's a lot of people that don't support it. There's a very diverse opinion of
if you looked at polls in the original invasion, the amount of support
seems like there's a lot of conservative people who are like Putin simps, and then there's also a bunch of like lefties.
True.
Like, and I don't mean that derogatory.
Those aren't real leftists.
Who aren't like
they're not real leftists. You're glazing the fuck out of Russia.
The guy we were speaking to, the communist professor,
Virgil Wolf.
Yeah, who's like kind of he people like him are also very anti-Ukraine in general.
I don't know his entire perspective,
he doesn't
but
seem very bullish.
I don't think you can be pro. If you are offering even critical support to Russia, or not Russia, but like Vladimir Putin in general, I don't think you're doing the right thing.
I don't know his position because he didn't really flesh it out.
I think you're lost.
Just like Hasan is not flushing it out because they're cowards.
Sauce? I think you're lost in the sauce in the sense that
they're
me or him.
No, like anyone that
Hasan and other leftists are so anti-America that they are pro like actual oppression. That's what it comes down to. They don't have a nuanced take. There can never be an instance where like, oh, you know what? Maybe America's kind of good. It's never that. It has to be all or nothing, and they have to hate America, despite the fact that they live here, they benefit from here, and they like prosper here. And if they live anywhere else, they'd be horribly oppressed. They don't care. Like that's they're entitled little babies that don't really understand shit.
It is like, oh no, Vladimir Putin did the right thing. He has to have this.
I don't think people are saying that. I think what I hear is like Ukraine. Zelensky is also, you know, a shit starter, and it's their problem that we shouldn't get involved in.
I don't know. I think there's a lot. There are people who like claim to be socialist or even communist that are like, you know, defending Vladimir Putin, but they're marginal.
Yeah, like you are doing that.
What, Dan? You seem to think that the Ukraine war is something America should get involved in.
When did I ever say that? What are you
just based on what you were saying about Georgia.
No, we were having a discussion about how media shapes narratives in the United States.
Dan, you should just stop talking. I can see that you're trembling already. Dan does not have the ability to like hold up in debates. It's not about being right or wrong. He's just already like, I didn't say that. You did. I mean, you're supporting Hasan's perspective, which is a anti. We're saying it's an anti. It's an anti-Ukraine dog whistle, dude. He's fucking dog whistling. Hasan is anti-Ukraine dog whistling, and Dan's hearing the call. He's going, and he's going, what? And he's glazing Hasan, and then boom, Ethan fucking destroys Hasan on the point. And then Dan doesn't know what to say because he realized he wasn't even interpreting Hasan's perspective the correct way. It's fucking crazy. It's fucking crazy. Holy moly.
And I was saying that, again, I'm not talking about in Europe, I'm not talking about in the rest of the world. In the United States, the Russian invasion of Georgia was a non-story. Nobody gave a shit here.
But it's different.
Okay.
It is different. There's difference.
It was a sovereign nation that Russia invaded.
Because it doesn't have the same proximity or the same importance within as Ukraine.
The only difference is we should have cared more. That's it. We should have cared more about again, Hasan's trying to suggest that we should care less about Ukraine to bring it down to the Georgia level rather than to bring Georgia up to Ukraine. It's a weaponization of an issue he doesn't really fucking care about. That's all it comes down to.
I think.
Right, but we're talking past each other. Like that.
I'm not.
Ukraine is more important to the United States strategically. That's why it gets attention. We're saying the same thing.
No, Dan, you don't really know what you're saying, brother.
Right. But okay.
This is why I would never be able to go on like the H3 podcast though. Like even if I was able to like get myself back up to a point where I was relevant again, because I'm just so mean. And if they ever watch stuff like this, I'm just such a dick. Like I don't even do it on purpose. I'm just like a fucking dick.
I know people are influenced by the media.
Right, but you were saying you think that people,
are allowed to care about things genuinely.
Nobody's saying that
you're not allowed to. I mean,
not allowed to. But Hasan was saying.
What was I saying?
That it's a manufactured support.
It absolutely is.
Yeah, and
that is something that the U.S. media
and what he's doing when he says that is he's heavily suggesting that we should not care. He's not saying, hey, it was manufactured, but we should care, and we should care about Georgia just as much. He's just saying it's manufactured. And he's not, and he's intentionally not clarifying. Bro, can I fucking play the game? Bro, I swear to fucking God. I logged off this game for a half of a fucking hour so that I can go and just wait for the stupid, dumb piece of shit to stop ganking me. Level 60s. They don't have any business here. Just to be very clear. These stupid motherfuckers, the mobs I'm killing, they cannot kill them. They are fucking greens to them. They're there to just troll. Holy fuck. I swear to God, I'm gonna lose my shit. Okay. Fucking goddamn piece of shit. Fucking goddamn it. I'm using a guide. I already finished the Southern Barons, all right? Shut the fuck up. I love you. All right?
They manufacture support for U.S. foreign policy.
You were saying I jumped to conclusion.
I'm not saying that all U.S. foreign policy is bad, but I think it is unquestionably true that the U.S. media crafts people's crafts the narrative.
So media has an impact on the narrative.
What's the disagreement then? Like, what if maybe I'm not using
there's the implication that support for Ukraine or Taiwan is not authentic.
Right, that you're purely falling for U.S. propaganda. That's not necessarily true.
I do agree with that, yeah.
And then you, Stan, said...
I don't think that was generally true.
The examples I use are always like, America has, 800 military bases all around the planet. We have our hands in everyone's pockets, right? Yeah. And there's active conflict happening everywhere around the planet all the time, and the United States is involved in it. If you are not thinking about it, if you're not thinking about something happening specifically, that is because, for the most part, the media has not covered it.
Papaga, do you not realize that English is Hasan's second language, and his mommy didn't feed him chicken? So you should do more charitable. You should be more charitable, Hasan. Yeah, for sure, brother.
For the most part, the media is.
All right, I'm over it. Let's move on.
And I think that I don't want to talk about it anymore. That is deliberate. That is by design.
It's just not even fun to watch, probably at this point, or talk about.
Okay.
For real, that was the good call. Hasan and Dan are fucking dumb. I'm like, holy shit.
You want to talk about Lauren Boebert being a psycho?
All right, let's move on from that. Listen, at the end of the day, I think people need to be very careful of the way that Hasan speaks. Okay, I've seen Hasan talk about Tucker Carlson and dog whistles. I agree. Tucker Carlson dog whistles the shit out of the things that he say. Also, Hasan does the same thing. When he talks about these issues, he does not care. He does not care about Ukraine. He has once downplayed Ukraine. He is a supporter of other countries that are not America because he hates America so much. That is his platform. That is his, I don't even know if it's an authentic perspective, but that is his brand. His brand is being an American, anti-American little dumb fuck baby, right? And then anytime anybody goes, yeah, I like America, I love America, he goes, "Oh, see, that's just like a dumb conservative." America's fundamentally flawed. It needs to be maybe not fundamentally. America's flawed, and it needs to be changed 1,000%. But this is Hasan's whole shtick. When it comes to anything that America supports, Hasan will be against it. He is absolutely suggesting that people should not care about Ukraine in any capacity. He doesn't care. He's downplayed it before. And then he keeps saying things like, well, the media just makes people care about the Ukraine, even though, what about Georgia? He doesn't care about Georgia either. He doesn't give a singular fuck about any of these countries in any capacity. He does not care about any other place. He just cares about being anti-America. That's his whole thing. That's all it comes down to. And people are getting tired of it, and obviously people are catching on. He's just a stupid fucking little baby. So that's that. I gotta piss. I'm fucking angry right now. I keep getting ganked. For no reason. I gotta kill one fucking person in these mines.